try this again.
This is round number 2.
Was anybody live on round 1?
Here we are again.
Again, we had bad signal.
We tried like 5 minutes ago at 8 o'clock sharp. Psych. We tried at 8:01 sharp. Not sharp. Dull. 8:01 dull.
A dull 8:01.
You're so dull at 8:01. But we're live at 8:05.
We are live at 8:05.
You like that?
I like
Skip and I fell in love rhyming. We're so in love.
Oops.
You should show us your hand. Let's see your fingerprint. And then they can do it they can make a fake one. Like on Mission Impossible. Are you about to do Mission Impossible too? Well, there you have it.
There you have it.
We're so in love. So our first attempt tonight actually fizzled, and you know why? Because it rained.
Internet connection.
Oh, because poor internet connection in the wilds of northwest Cape Coral, Florida. And we have bad internet here.
I'm wearing my hat up a little high.
Bad.
Higher than normal, because normally I wear it kind of low, like that, but it was giving me eye shadows.
A shadow villain.
So I raised it up.
Our back patio. Welcome.
Nice, that's our pool.
Welcome to the
Our
pool.
canal back there, where our big fat alligator
My
lives.
husband. There's a huge
My
alligator back there. Not fun.
Not this big.
No me gusta. Probably 8 feet or 30. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
We're live.
We are so live.
We're actually doing better
we think.
on
LTE.
our LTE than
We
we
have
were on our
Verizon
Wi-Fi.
to the stars. So our internet at our house is very poor.
Very poor.
Stacy, what is up? Welcome to the patio deck.
Welcome to our patio deck.
So we had rain here, which is very good news in Cape Coral. We've been wanting rain for quite a while. It's been dry, dry, dry.
Very dry.
So today we had sudden rainstorm. All of a sudden we just had like pelting sideways rain.
Yeah.
And the kids went outside and they're like, ooh, ah. So they danced in the pelting rain. They had fun. They loved it.
Yeah, I could hear them.
Yeah.
I was working.
Skip was working in the garage and the kids were dancing in the rain. So
I had to lower the garage door because the rain was coming in and it got really hot really fast.
I'm an old lady. I was going to drive somewhere and I decided not to drive somewhere because of the rain.
It wasn't even raining yet. She's like, I'm not going to go anywhere because it looks like it might rain.
Did I say it in the old granny voice?
Well, you just said like an old lady, so I just
I took it too far.
took it to the next level.
I'm nothing like an old granny. Hi, Gloria. Well, we are so happy to be here on the patio deck.
Gloria, can you hear us, or do you have the sound turned down while you put your kids to bed?
Gloria just comes for the fashion show, which is the same every week. The same fashion. Same 3 t-shirts. Can you hear the wind whistling?
Yes, it's still very windy here. I think I'm wearing the same t-shirt I was wearing last week.
Oh, I thought you were going to wait for someone to say, is that the same t-shirt as last week?
Maybe I'll start wearing this shirt every week.
Secret's out.
Secret's out.
We don't change our clothes that often. Who does change their clothes?
Sound on,
God,
Gloria.
sound on. Whoa,
Right.
high living tonight. Well, this is good news because you get to hear the birds. I have no idea what kind of bird that is. You think that's a whippoorwill?
You just said that because it sounds like whippersnapper, and you've been talking about old people.
Since I'm old, that's the only kind of bird I could think of.
You whippersnapper? What are you, flying with a whippoorwill?
The kids and I were looking for the American kestrel. We were looking up videos of birds attacking squirrels today, so
Gravy.
that's how we do things around here.
So what's everybody having for dessert?
Are you having dessert right
I'm
now?
bringing this up because I'm not allowed to touch our dessert until...
I looked at him and I said, please don't touch the dessert until we show our friends what we're having for dessert. And here we go. Ready?
At first you just kept stopping and replaying your sound effect and skipped drinking water. Awesome sauce.
You're welcome. So that, I don't know, it doesn't look that good.
Oh, it looks better up close.
Oh.
This is pears. Are these like Chinese pears or something? Anjou pears with chocolate drizzled over them.
Stacy Bartlett. We should have got Bartlett pears.
Stacy Bartlett.
Bartlett pears. So here's the thing. We are eating pretty healthy and we haven't had dessert in a super long time. I would grab one raspberry and be like, oh, this is the best thing I ever ate in my life. And so I'm trying not to eat too much sugar. How does it taste?
Good.
Did we watch Skip's face? Let's see it in the instant replay.
Yeah, so good.
So
good, I'll eat another one.
We have been like doing the
eating.
bulletproof eating. And so one of the recommended things was take like 90% dark chocolate and melt it with some butter, some of the Kerrygold, like super rich grass-fed butter, and melt that and then drizzle it over some pear slices. So we're giving it a try. Skip's giving it a try, and he's choking.
Yeah, I just swallowed the wrong one, but it's good.
Could any of you jump through the camera and give him the Heimlich? That's what we need right now. Skip chokes like once a week. He's worse than any newborn.
I think there's something wrong with my swallower.
Yeah. There's something wrong in that whole section. Will you just? So,
Can you cough, speak, or breathe?
Skip's had to perform Heimlich on himself because he eats too quickly.
Terrible.
He'll eat pizza.
Want me to tell that story?
I think you should.
The first time I lived alone, I was, 20 or something?
Yes.
20 years old. And I was eating pizza, and I got a big clump of cheese stuck in my throat. And literally...
It was like super hot pizza. He had just gotten it, and so the cheese was so melty.
Literally, I was... And I even went with my finger to try to get it out.
That's kind of gross. We told them, hey, join us for dessert, and then we're doing a super gross story.
And I was going to die. Like, I knew I didn't have... I don't even think I had a phone back then. I did not have a phone. So there was no cell phones yet. I had no house phone.
It was 1997.
1997. I was fixing to die. And I remember someone saying you can give yourself the Heimlich, like on the corner of a table. I just shook the camera. Corner of a table. I had to do it 3 times. Not because it didn't work the first 2 times, because if you've ever tried to drop yourself onto the corner of a table, your reflex is automatically to tense your muscles. So the 3rd time, as I'm seeing like stars in my eyes, I had to like kind of close my eyes and fall forward onto the table and let the corner of the table hit me right there where you do the Heimlich thing. Up came the cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. You think it's
Crazy.
real?
I saved my own life.
Does anybody think that story's real?
Do we look extra orange tonight?
I feel like we're orange and shiny. Do we look Oompa Loompa to you guys?
I think the lighting's weird out here.
Because to us, we look Oompa Loompa.
Is it because the
our pool looks lovely?
is it because the background is light and stuff? I don't know. Do we look orange?
Are we out of focus?
Hey Vince, you joined. Do we look orange to you?
Drop us a comment below. Do we look normal colored?
Paint your face orange and vote for Trump.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Labored like that over the chair.
When you're in labor, giving birth over a chair.
I almost died like that.
See how died was in quotes? That makes me not believe you. So yeah, we're super orange. Our friends.
Golden, never orange.
So welcome to the golden hour with Golden Swaggers.
I would do a Trump impersonation right now, but I could never pull that off.
For the love.
You're fired.
Okay. So Vince, you're just joining. You're gonna go ahead and show us in the comments. I don't know if you can add a picture in the comments, but you can see that we have pears with chocolate on them. So be so jealous. In fact, Vince,
90% dark chocolate.
Vince is a super secret spy. If anybody knows Vince in real life, or if you don't know Vince and you want to follow him on Facebook, he's actually tricky. Anytime we go to Publix, Vince is there. And yesterday,
buying apples.
He inspected our shopping cart.
Yes, he did.
No. I gave him permission to inspect our shopping cart because Vince is super healthy. He's been losing weight for like 2 years, super duper duper healthy.
He literally went through our groceries like this. Keep it, keep it, keep it, ditch it, keep it, ditch it,
then
keep
he gave
it,
me
ditch it.
Back. How could you get this? How could you? Nope, I did well. I was super proud. We were leaving the grocery store and I was like, Vince, look, vegetables. Rock on. So that was our week. Vegetables. What else was our week? Rain, vegetables.
Rain, vegetables. Oh, we did throw in a healthy pizza.
Masterpiece Theater. Oh, we're gonna spill the beans. We're outing ourselves. We had gluten-free pizza this week.
Gluten-free pizza.
In fact,
with bacon.
We got the one Gloria always gets us with bacon and chicken and tomato.
Gloria always gets us that?
Yeah.
I haven't had one of those in a while. She must not be getting it enough.
We eat it during the daytime while you're at work.
Boo.
Here's a napkin. You guys want to see our napkins? Minions. We are more yellow than the Minions are, actually.
I'm telling you, it looks like we're super orange, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're golden.
What if I move back?
What if we become gazillion goldenaires tomorrow? Yes, please. Let's see if he falls in. I hope so.
Tyler?
Skip, can you like put your legs together or something?
I'm having a baby.
Ew, God.
Me and Gloria.
See? Oh my gosh, guys.
I'm having a baby.
Oh my God.
My name's Gloria.
I just can't even with you. When we were like in youth group and stuff, and Skip would be annoying the people in the youth group, they'd be like, all the girls would be like, Beth, can't you do something about it? Can't you make him stop? And I said, there's no controlling Skip. You just can't. Skip just does what he wants
Just roll
to do.
with it.
So you just gotta roll with it. So let's see.
We're gonna call this the orange episode.
Golden.
It's bothering me. I'm looking at that camera and it's just bothering me.
I hope we come into like a bazillion golden dollars
Oh,
tomorrow.
you're saying golden instead of
gold
orange.
doubloons.
Yes.
What if
Gold
we
doubloons.
get like a treasure of gold doubloons tomorrow? What if that alligator that's 8 foot long is actually full of gold doubloons and he's here to deliver it to us?
I'm gonna kill him tomorrow. Cut him open.
We better just try, just to be sure.
There'll be no gold and I'll go to jail.
In Florida, you're not allowed to kill the alligators, I guess, unless you have a hunting permit. So we could get a hunting permit. Like, we want Skip to sit here and try to wrestle an alligator.
I wouldn't try to wrestle it.
You're gonna like go with like, that's not a knife, this is a knife.
No, I would use a spear so I could stay far enough away.
Skip's all about the self-preservation.
Yes, I
So drop in the comments below, whether you're watching live or watching the replay, tell us what you're eating for dessert. So we have not been eating dessert lately, but we added
I know what
pears
I'm
with
eating.
drizzled chocolate. So that's 90% dark. Could you handle it?
am.
We are not dark chocolate like aficionados. So
I
like
dark chocolate.
both of us, we tried to like take one nibble of 100% dark, and we both went, ugh. It was like
With
baking
no sugar or
chocolate. It was
sweetener
no
in it,
sugar
yeah.
at all.
That
It was
was
disgusting.
Terrible.
So I don't know if you
Horrible.
guys can eat it, but so we like are backing it back to so where we hit like 90%, and we're like, all right. And then he had 85%. He's like, 85%. So I don't know. The bulletproof diet plan says go ahead and have a pear drizzled with some dark chocolate. I'll move my chair. How will we fix
No,
it?
that's my arm.
Oh. Come close to me, lover man. All right. Well, we have a funny story of what happened at dinner. Was that last night or 2 nights ago?
Last night, I think.
Was it?
No, 2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah, it was 2 nights ago. So we want to tell you what that is, but we are going to mix it in a few minutes. So it's all about what happens when you get what you ask for.
It's all about that face. About that face. No trouble.
Sing along.
I think I sing every week, don't I?
Sharia likes 65 to 80% chocolate. Yes, that's much more tolerable, although that's still pretty strong. 90%? Rough. So when you think about getting what you ask for, a lot of people say, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. And so that is so true. But I think that there's a lot of grace. Sometimes we are protected from getting what we ask for, thank God. But sometimes we get exactly what we asked for. And that's what happened in our family this week. And so that's what we were thinking about, and that's what we wanted to talk about. So I wanted to encourage you, when you are dreaming, make sure your dreams are big enough and deep enough so that when you get what you ask for, it's actually awesome. So I think that's really important. We've seen a lot of people over the years, and we've done it, where you have shallow dreams. You just kind of like come up with an idea, but it's just real thin idea. And then they achieve it, and it's like, oh, this is kind of hollow. There's nothing under here. So, a lot of people will do that with money. They'll say, oh, yeah, I want to make this amount of money. And then you get there and you think, okay, well, what are you going to do with that amount of money? You know, like you have to actually have purpose underlying your dreams. So be sure to take it one step further from, you know, just, okay, well, you know, I want to make this much money, or
At least one step.
I want to do this. Yeah, like actually dig it out deeply.
Why? That's a good question.
So you need a lot of purpose. So asking yourself why you want to do that. Like Daisy said, I want to be a doctor. And so she goes, you want to know why I want to be a doctor? Because I like to help people. So
she also told me she wanted to be a police officer. When I said why, she goes, because I want to tase people.
She wants to be both. Hurt people, and she wants to have power and help people.
Speaking of Daisy, get in bed.
Please get into bed.
Please, I mean.
Oops, camera's
Get in
live.
bed. Oh, wait, I mean, I'm a great parent. I would never do that.
Great parents will sometimes be persnickety with their children. What? Skip's reading the comments. When Skip gets the
when
extreme
I do this,
close-up.
that's me reading the comments. It's my age showing.
I think the background's pretty.
Background's nice. We're orange.
We are golden.
I wonder if I moved the light a little bit, if it would change.
Doesn't matter. We're moving on.
Moving on.
Secondly, ask for wisdom. Golden. Gold doubloons. Ask for wisdom when you are thinking about your goals and your dreams. Ask God for wisdom. The Bible says that if you ask for wisdom, that you get it. It's freely given to you. And so make sure that you're thinking a step forward to go, okay, now that I've gotten what I asked for, how am I going to manage this? What am I going to do to be able to handle what you've given me, God? And so that's where you need to go with some wisdom. And so I was just trying to think a couple of things that, you know, small examples from us recently. So Skip sometimes will go through seasons where he'll be praying for more work to come in, or a different kind of jobs or something like that to come in from his customers. And so then when he does, then he's like, oh my gosh, you know, what am I going to do? Now I have so much work, and I have all these jobs. I got to figure out how to schedule them and all this kind of stuff. Now. So like Skip, you know, has been doing small jobs, you know, a lot, and they're fast. He's out of people's houses fast, which is good. And it's got a great profit ratio. But then he also has similar profit ratio on these huge jobs with kitchen cabinets or whatever. So Skip's painting kitchens. So anyway, we had to sit here and ask, okay, well now how are we going to manage this? You know, how are we going to do it with peace, and what's the best way to make this happen? So similarly, on a very small scale, I have been asking for books and looking for books everywhere. And now it's been 3 months. I was looking back in my phone today, and I've been doing that for exactly like about 3 months, since the beginning of March. And I have so many books in my house, you wouldn't believe it. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. I don't know how many books I have, but it is so many. And I had to go, okay, well, now I need wisdom on, you know, how am I going to organize them, and which ones am I going to keep, and what am I giving away, what am I selling, you know, all these kinds of things. And so when you have a dream, when you have a goal, when you set any kind of standard, you know, make sure it's big enough and deep enough, and then make sure you ask for wisdom about how to manage it. So our son, Jonah, is 9 years old, did not set a good dream.
Good stuff coming up here.
Did not set a good goal, and did not have any wisdom to manage it. So that's the story that we wanted to share with you. Are you ready for that story?
I'm ready.
So here's what happened. This is our funny story for the week. Jonah has kind of a habit. You know the Bible story about Esau and Jacob? Like Esau was the younger brother, and Esau's the older brother, and sold his birthright, sold his whole inheritance and the access to the family business, all this stuff, to his younger brother for some food, basically. You know, he was hungry, and his brother gave him some kind of stew, and he was famished, and he sold it all over. So that's kind of what happens around here a lot. Like completely ridiculous things happen in our home, and our kids are giving up something important for something inconsequential. And so that's what happened again. And it's happened so many times over the last couple of months that we decided to let it to run its full course. And so we don't always give our kids their full taste of their just medicine. but this time we did.
We did.
So here's what happened. I keep saying that, but I'm getting there little by little. This week, Jude got $1 and Jonah wanted it. Like, Jonah was trying all these different angles about having $1. He has a fake candy club occasionally where he'll like get money from the younger kids to get candy.
A pocket full of money anyway, because I took him to work with me on Saturday and paid him.
So Jonah already had a lot of money, but he saw Jude's $1 and he wanted that $1. And so he started figuring out a way that he could earn the $1 from his brother.
You look like your sister when you did that.
My sister's adorable, so that's a good compliment.
She is.
So he said, okay, Jude, it's out of my earshot. I'll give you a week. I'll be your servant for 1 week if you give me your $1. So it's basically credit because Jonah hasn't performed a service yet. You know, he's paying the $1 in advance. So Jonah is 9 and he's tricking the 4-year-old. And so if this was a perfect world, if Jonah was actually going to perform the service, if Jude was old enough and wise enough to be able to make that arrangement, it would have been fine. However, Jude doesn't know how to broker arrangements. He doesn't protect himself, and Jonah was not protecting his younger brother.
Doesn't know how to be the king over a servant, though.
So we decided, are you trying to speed up the story?
No.
I'm giving a lot of backstory for this story. You're welcome. So I overheard the transaction, the end of the transaction taking place, where like they were handshaking on the deal where Jonah's going to be the servant for 1 whole week. And Jude gives $1. I said, Jude's not allowed to make arrangements. He's way too young. Any deals with him have to be run through the parents first. Fair enough. If you're not going to protect him, we have to protect him. So all deals have to go through mommy and daddy first. And so I said, Jonah, give the $1 back to Jude, and now you're going to be his servant for 24 hours for free. And so Jude goes, really? And Jonah's like, what? I have to? Yes, son. You were going to give it all away for the next week, so we're going to go ahead and let you see what that is like. We're going to do it for the next 24 hours, but you're doing it for free. So he gives the $1 back, and it's just about to be dinner time. And so we said, okay, Jude, you are Jonah's boss for the next day, and you get to tell him what to do, and he has to do it. Jonah's like, I have to do it? Yes, you have to do it. He's your boss. He's your master right now. And so Jude's like, oh, this is awesome. And so he said, okay, Jonah, get me some ice water. And so Jonah runs over and gets him some ice water and has it. Jude has a drink. And Jonah, go put it up on the bar top. Okay. So then he says, okay, Jonah, give me a piggyback ride to the bathroom. And so he's doing piggyback ride. And Jude's like, stand there, and so that you can take me back afterward. And so
they sit back down at the dinner table. He goes, get a piece of steak. And so Jonah stabs a piece of steak and goes, lick it. Now stick it in your eye.
So touch it to your eyeball. Touch it to your eyelid.
Touch it to your eye.
So then Jonah was like, do I really have to do this? Yes, you really have to do it because this is Jude's the boss, right. And this is what you chose. You chose this, Jonah. You are powerful, and we are honoring your choice to be Jude's servant. So now here you are. So he says, okay, now take some cream spinach and put it in your hair. So then Jonah's like, and Jude is cracking himself up.
He was.
Jude every night sits in the dinner table in his underwear and sits on the back porch on the dinner, and we're all around the dinner table.
Dinner here, right?
And he's in his underwear and he's laughing so hard. And Jonah is laughing too. Jonah thinks that it's funny, but he's surprised that we're letting it go on. But we said, hey, you chose this. This is your choice. And so Jonah was getting what he asked for sure. And then what happened?
He says, dump your water on your head. So Jonah's like,
glass of ice water on your head.
And then he goes, dump my water on your head. So he dumps the water on the head, and then Jude looks at him and is cracking laughing. He goes, now go get me more water.
So then he goes, So he's like, do I have to do this? Yes, you have to do
there
it.
Was
So then he
things
put
in between, right?
spinach in his hair a few times, steak on his eyeball
And
a
then
few
for the grand
times.
finale before we put him in bed.
So he's like, jump in the pool with all your clothes on. He's like, I have to jump in the pool with all my clothes on? Yes, Jonah, this is what you chose. You have to jump in the pool now with all your clothes on. And so Jonah's like, okay, how about if I take off this shirt? I don't want it to get, dyed from the pool. And so we said, no, this is what you chose. Jude's the boss. And so he jumped in the pool with all of his clothes on. Is that how it ended?
Yeah, that's how it ended.
So then it's like bedtime, and
Yeah.
so, Jonah had to do the dishes afterwards.
Right.
And so we said, okay, Jude,
Yeah,
you're
be
all
my
done for
servant.
tonight.
Do the dishes.
You're all done for tonight, Jude. You're no longer the master just telling your brother what to do. So then they woke up the next morning, and I had a talk with Jude. I said, okay, we had a lot of fun with this last night, but do you feel like you were a good master, or you feel like you were not a good master? He says, I was not a good master. I said, no, you weren't. You weren't being kind. You weren't taking his feelings into consideration or what was best for him. And so what do you want to do differently today? And so he said, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to, ask Jonah to do things that are good. So Jonah still had to serve for the next day, but Jude was a good master. So we wanted to tell you that funny story because we wanted you to be able to keep in mind when you get what you ask for, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not good.
Yeah.
So obviously Jonah, being a 9-year-old, should not have given over his power to a 4-year-old. Like, that 4-year-old was maniacal and coming up with the most absurd ideas, and he was getting to run the show. Jonah chose to give over his power to someone who was less wise and mature. And so we were trying to really give Jonah the bottom line to say, no, don't do this. Don't tell somebody, I'll do anything you want. Sometimes my kids, if you give me that, I'll do anything you want. Well, no, that's not okay. So we have a lot of these conversations about making sure that you retain what's good for you and you make good choices and you don't give over your power to somebody else like that.
Yep.
Agreed? Anything else to add to that hilarious story? So, that is it for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed seeing our pool deck and the sun going down. The sun obviously comes up right here, so you didn't get to see the sunset, but maybe sometime we can turn it and actually watch the sunset.
That'd be fun.
Sunset's not
We'll
amazing.
sit on our
at
front
all.
porch instead of our back
Or,
porch.
you know what? Maybe we'll just go ahead and have a cup of coffee with you guys in the morning.
That'd be fun.
What about if we did a sunrise event? Who wants to be up with the Swaggers at 6 a.m.?
That's what I'm talking
Woo!
about. Well, about 6:30, isn't it, when the sun comes out?
I have no idea.
You're never awake.
I am awake for
Never
it.
awake.
I'm awake for it, but
All right.
just barley.
Quote to note.
Quote to note. What does that mean?
A good quote.
Okay. Is that
To
like
end.
podcast lingo? Skip listens to all
I
these
don't know.
like motivational podcasts and stuff. What's your podcast lingo for us? Quote to note, people. Hashtag quote to note.
Unbelievable. Hashtag unbelievable.
Okay, give them their quote to note, my love. You're so cool.
I don't even remember what I was going to say now. Thanks.
Well, we dropped like 18 viewers when you did that quote to note.
Oh, we did. Bill Johnson quote.
Okay.
How's that?
I like
Does
Bill
it say it that
Johnson.
way? Hashtag Bill Johnson quote.
No. Just tell us what you want to tell
Sometimes
us.
when you ask for an oak tree, God will give you an acorn.
Could
So-
you guys hear that? Sometimes your answer is in the form of an acorn when you ask God for an oak tree. Why are you snapping?
Ba-da-boom. All right. Is that it?
I don't know. Are you going to expound that quote?
That's it. You just did.
No, I just repeated you louder.
If I was insecure, why would I be speaking so
Does
loudly?
anybody know what movie that's from? Do you know what movie that's from?
Yes, I know what movie that's from.
Quickly, pop it down below. Pop,
Quick.
pop, pop, pop. Totes my goats. Totes my quotes.
Thanks.
Okay, it's from
Mom and Dad Save the
Mom
World.
and Dad Save the World. Evil dictator Todd. Okay,
Alright.
so sometimes
Peace.
the
Oh,
acorn.
you're still gonna go.
Okay,
I
you'll
think
have
they
to
all
ponder it
understand
yourself.
it. Yes. You don't have to like expound on it.
Apparently, you don't want it expounded upon.
It was just supposed to be a quote to leave them with, so we could say goodbye.
A quick quote.
Not another
It was like
20
a
minute
to-go-
explanation.
to-go
yeah, to-go quote.
A to-go
That's
quote.
right. We're gonna call it a to-go quote.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, we love you guys. We're glad you joined in. See you later.